Mysterious places that shouldn't exist. In Scotland, there's a strange bridge that looks completely normal at first glance, but it has mysteriously caused the deaths of hundreds of dogs. Why does it happen? From an abandoned concrete structure hidden deep inside the jungles of Brazil, to an island in the Gulf of Mexico that seemingly vanished from existence, today we're exploring some of the most mysterious places on Earth, places so unbelievable that they almost seem fake. And that's not all. We'll also uncover the Atlantis of Argentina, a drowned village whose ruins now create one of the creepiest sights in the world. Welcome back. The Overtoun Bridge Mystery, Scotland's dog suicide bridge. Old bridges exist all over the world, but one bridge in the Scottish town of Dumbarton stands out from all the others. Built over 130 years ago, the Overtoun Bridge was originally constructed to provide access to the nearby Overtoun House, a massive Victorian mansion surrounded by forests and hills. At first, the bridge appears completely ordinary. But there's one terrifying detail that makes it infamous around the world. For decades, hundreds of dogs have reportedly jumped off this bridge to their deaths. Even stranger, many of them leap from the exact same side of the bridge and from nearly the exact same spot. Witnesses say that some dogs survive the fall badly injured, only to climb back up and jump again. What makes this mystery even more disturbing is that no other animals seem affected, only dogs. Because of these bizarre incidents, many paranormal theories began spreading around the area. Some people, especially followers of ancient Celtic beliefs, claim the bridge is a thin place, a location where the boundary between our world and the spirit world becomes weak. Others believe the ghost of a grieving widow known as the White Lady of Overtoun haunts the bridge. Another dark theory connects the bridge to a tragic incident in 1994, when a mentally disturbed father threw his baby from the bridge. Some locals believe the negative energy from that event still lingers there. But scientists have proposed a more realistic explanation. In 2006, animal behavior expert David Sands investigated the bridge and discovered that the area beneath it was filled with small mammals, especially minks. Dogs, with their incredibly powerful sense of smell, may detect these animals and instinctively chase after them without realizing there's a steep drop ahead. Experts also noticed that the bridge's design creates a dangerous optical illusion. From a dog's perspective, the ground below may appear flat and continuous instead of a deadly cliff. Still, no theory fully explains why this behavior happens so consistently. To this day, the Overtoun Bridge remains one of the world's strangest unsolved mysteries. The island that disappeared, Bermeja Island. If you look at maps created by Spanish explorers during the 16th and 17th centuries, you'll notice a small island north of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. The island was called Bermeja. For centuries, it appeared on official maps and charts. In fact, Spanish cartographer Alonso de Santa Cruz included it in official records back in 1539. But here's where things get strange. In the late 1990s, massive oil reserves were discovered in the Gulf of Mexico. The United States and Mexico began defining maritime boundaries to determine which country owned the rights to the oil fields. And Bermeja Island suddenly became extremely important. If the island truly existed, Mexico's territorial waters would expand significantly, giving the country access to far more oil resources. So Mexico launched several expeditions to locate the island. But they found nothing. No land. No rocks. No trace that an island had ever existed there. The Mexican Navy later stated that it appeared as though the island had never existed at all. Then another mysterious event fueled conspiracy theories even further. A Mexican senator named José Ángel Cancelo, one of the strongest supporters of Bermeja's existence and of expanding Mexico's oil territory, died in a suspicious car accident shortly after the failed searches. Soon, rumors spread that the CIA had secretly destroyed the island using explosives to reduce Mexico's claims in the Gulf. Years later, in 2009, advanced underwater surveys were conducted again. The result? Nothing but sand on the ocean floor. Some geographers now believe Bermeja may have been a fake island intentionally added to maps centuries ago to confuse enemy sailors and pirates. Others think the island may have sunk due to erosion or rising sea levels. But whether Bermeja ever truly existed or vanished forever remains a mystery to this day. The abandoned highway in Brazil's jungle. Deep inside the dense jungles of Brazil lies a giant abandoned concrete structure that looks like the remains of a lost civilization. The structure stretches over 1,000 feet long and rises more than 130 feet high. It contains massive pillars, tunnels, walls, and huge concrete foundations now slowly being swallowed by the rainforest. From a distance, it almost looks like someone picked up a section of a city and dropped it in the middle of nowhere. But the truth behind it is equally fascinating. During the 1950s and 1960s, Brazil began constructing BR-101, one of the country's largest highways stretching over 3,000 miles. One major section of the project was called the Viaduto Petrobras, designed to connect Rio de Janeiro and Santos through difficult jungle terrain. After 16 years of construction, the project was nearly complete. Then disaster struck. Brazil entered a severe economic crisis, and the government suddenly ran out of money. Officials changed the highway plans at the last minute and connected BR-101 to a different coastal route instead. The enormous jungle viaduct was abandoned forever. Over the decades, nature slowly reclaimed the structure. Trees grew through the concrete, vines wrapped around pillars, and the rainforest consumed what humans left behind. Today, the abandoned structure has become a haunting tourist attraction, a reminder of how quickly nature can erase human ambition. Argentina's Atlantis, Villa Epecuén. In 1920, around 400 miles from Buenos Aires, Argentina, a small tourist village was built beside Lake Epecuén, a highly salty lake believed to have healing properties. People claimed its mineral-rich waters could cure skin diseases, arthritis, and other illnesses. Soon, the village of Villa Epecuén became a luxury vacation destination for wealthy Argentinians. The town had hotels, a railway station, businesses, and a permanent population of around 1,500 residents. At its peak during the 1970s, more than 5,000 tourists could stay there at the same time. But everything changed in November 1985. After a powerful storm, the dam protecting the town from the salt lake collapsed. Water flooded into the village for weeks. Eventually, residents were forced to abandon their homes as the water level continued rising. Entire streets disappeared beneath nearly 30 feet of water. For 25 years, Villa Epecuén remained underwater like a lost underwater city. Then, in 2009, the waters finally began to recede. What emerged looked like something from a post-apocalyptic movie. Collapsed buildings, rusted structures, dead trees, and streets covered in white salt deposits created one of the eeriest ghost towns on Earth. Photographers and tourists from around the world now visit the ruins to witness the haunting remains of the drowned city. But perhaps the most incredible part of the story was a man named Pablo Novak. After the water receded, Pablo, who was already over 80 years old, returned to Villa Epecuén and chose to live alone among the ruins of his destroyed hometown. Out of all 1,500 former residents, he was the only one who came back. For years, he became known as the last resident of Villa Epecuén and was later named the town's cultural ambassador. Sadly, Pablo passed away in 2024 at the age of 93. With his death, Villa Epecuén once again became completely abandoned. A town once famous for attracting tourists is now famous because it was lost forever.